everyone calls me Winnie. Whenever this is serious, it's very Winnie would do, or they call me Freddie sometimes. So Winnie would do. What do I do? Um, I don't know why I'm thinking so hard. I'm trying to put it. I'm gonna take that. That's
Design.
I'm a designer. I run the company Ekasa. So Ekasa is a hand woven, ready to wear company based here in Ghana. Predominantly, predominantly deal with AKC. So we even have everything is produced from scratch to finish. So we weave in house, we design in house, we sew in house, we again export to the world. Yeah, so we are a woman-centered led company. Our weavers are women, our designers are women. I guess I'm a woman. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. So that's what I do. Beyond Ekata, unfortunately, I'm not too sure what Beyond Ekata is right now. It's sad. It's sad to say, but Beyond Ekata does not look too real right now, just as of right now, only because everything is centered on building the company. So if you ask what that's when you do outside of work, I'm not too sure what Winnie does outside of work. So as of right now, my life is centered around work. Yeah, unfortunately. That's fine.
Hi, ladies. I have two beautiful dogs, Leo and Akatesia. Right. She's a Pisces, but Leo, very Leo of me. What else? Ghanaian, born and raised. I love sleep and chilling in my couch and everything. I run a company called Threaded Tribes. It's a African-centered brand where we utilize textiles and resources exclusively from the continent to make our products. And it's not just about clothes, it's about arts, collectibles, all the cool things that Africa has to offer. And I met Eunice at Impact Hub, and she's been a great resource overall. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm very pleased to meet you guys.
My name is Abna. They already met me earlier, but I know Eunice from school. We went to Laboni Secondary School together, and even with that, I had met her earlier before Laboni Secondary School. What do I do? I sell clothes, but also I'm into construction. I've lived in China since 2018 to now. I just came back in February. I speak Chinese. Okay, so for my business, I sell retail clothes that people like H&M, Zara, PLT, and then I sell it back to people here in Ghana. But I'm trying to find a way to sell my own clothes. So I'm planning to go back to China, find people that can design, because I don't know how to design. So I'm trying to find people that can design, that I could have a team and then I work with. Aside that, right now, everything is just going slow. As to when I was in China, when I was coming back, I had a plan as to I wanted to open a salon. I wanted to open like a braider salon. Oh God, but then Ghana, let's just put it that way, And so things didn't go the way I wanted them to go, but then things are still going to happen the way I want them to happen. But then they're just taking slow time. And yeah, I'm good where I'm at. My mind is on track. I know where I'm going to. And hopefully I hope and I pray that God really strengthen my weaknesses to get to wherever I want to get to.
Hi everyone, I'm Alexis, Nala Tile. Gone girls in the house.
Okay.
Who else is gone? Is anyone else gone? Is anyone else gone?
No.
Oh wow. So I met Eunice through my little sister, so I feel like that ages me a bit.
Yeah.
But always heard great things and just so phenomenal. So I'm so glad you're doing this. I am in public health, and so I run a women's health agency in the US. And then we have a nonprofit arm here. So we bring our clients to Ghana to invest in different women's health initiatives. So like reproductive health, maternal health, infertility, surrogacy, all kinds of women's health issues, menopause. And I really like that work because I was born in the US, although I'm Ghanaian. And so it bridges the two together. I've been living in Ghana for 10 years now. And that's been a ride, but no regrets. I know, but I have no regrets, especially with what's going on in the US. It's been a great pivot. And, I think I was one of the first groups before, like, I think Beyond the Return when it became popular. And I love it. And so I've been in my career for about 13 years now. And it's interesting because this year, I know, right? This year, because I graduated with my master's like over 10 years ago. So this year is the year of me for like the great pivot. I feel like I'm in a space where I'm like, all right, I only have one life, one chance. There's no do-overs, there's no redos, there's no if I could go back and do it again. This is it. And I started to grasp the idea of what would it look like to pivot. Because I think in this life we're told that once you do one thing, you just stick with it. And so now I'm looking into pivoting into finance and economics, but still centered on women.
Right.
And I think with that, it makes me realize that, like, okay, our purpose could be rooted in something, but we can deviate into other things, but still being true. Because I think my purpose is centered around women.
Right.
Yeah, so whether it's health or economics, it's finance, it's just women. And I think that's where I'm asking God to like lead the way and guide me while still being true to my ethos. So that's where I'm at. I also have a community called Baby Girl University, which is fun. Because honestly, I'm just a baby girl, no matter what. Like, I'm just baby girl, no matter what. People try to say like, oh, boss babe, but I'm like, it's not me, I'm not boss babe or baby girl. And it's off of the premise of being a child of God, but also God's baby girl, right? And just, how do we cultivate that type of balance of femininity, but still strength? So I'm really glad to be here, Eunice, because this is all within my ethos of all things women. I like the girls, I love the girlies, so it's nice to meet you all.
As we all know, my name is Eunice. Currently, I do so many things. People like to call me or tell me that I wear many hats, but currently what I'm doing is I work as a program manager at Impact Hub Accra, work with a lot of like startups, entrepreneurs, helping them, to find funding, scaling up, investors, capacity training, building, just, sort of like scale up, reach or enter into like the global market and, training just so that we can compete again with the global world and all that. So that's in a nutshell what I currently do.
Okay, over the past weekend, I learned a very important lesson, which is like, listen to your gut always. Because my gut told me not to go out, and I overrode it, and I went out, and my car is fault. Because Ghana happened to me, the road was flooded, my car was low, the water has entered my engine, I have to buy a whole new engine. So, biggest lesson, like always listen to your intuition, always listen to your gut. And for me, just applying that to business also, it's about also listening to your gut over there, because I feel like I don't know about everyone, I can speak for myself. I feel like I'm very divinely guided. The answers are always within you. Listen to yourself. Don't let too many opinions come in, and if you listen to too many opinions and stuff like that, it filters like everything. It dilutes your purpose. So I would say just like listen to your inner voice and everything. And you mentioned something about like reactivity. That's also another thing that it's not like I've had to learn, but more like practicing on. Because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, unless like it's hazardous, you're not going to die. So just like it's important to take a breather in decision making and everything, because I feel like maybe in the past for me, I'm very reactive. Like, let's say if an email comes and there's an opportunity, sometimes you feel like the opportunity will go away, so like you're in a hurry to like respond. Like, no, just like take your time, breathe through it, nothing is going away. And even with that, like that energy is like felt and like received on the other side rather than the rush of things. So yeah, I feel like for me, building from softness, it's about just like relaxing, taking a breather before like making any decisions of sorts, and just like listening to my inner voice, not letting anything stress me, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to die if, like, exactly. So that's like a little thing I have to say to start. Yeah.
That's actually a good point, because I can totally relate. Because even at work, my boss tells me that, because first, when you're at work and you're doing something, most people are like, oh, you have to get by end of day, by close of business.
Right.
He always says, he always asks me, Eunice, will someone die? I'm like, no, they won't die. Tomorrow they'll be there. Like, you can't kill yourself. Like, do what you can, but sometimes you can't kill yourself. And for me, also, what I'll say for softness for me this year is that I've always been the person who likes to be, behind the scenes. Like, literally with everything that I do and everywhere I am. Like, from church to school to work, everything. Like, I just like seeing things come naturally, or just blossom, in the sense that yes, I'll do all the hard work behind the scenes, and then now seeing the fruition of your hard work just come. So like, I like that space. But I think for me, softness this year is just more like, because even one of my best friends would say that, see, sometimes you're scared to do something, but just do it anyway. Like, do it scared. Exactly. Like, just do it scared, do it anyway, because what's the worst that can happen? So to me, I'm just like, you know what, as much as yes, I'm scared, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm just going to take a deep breather and just do it. Like, and just be myself.
So for me, I feel like I said earlier, when I came back in February, I had a whole plan as to how I wanted my life to look like, so I had saved a lot of money. I wanted to like open a salon for braiders. Initially, I wanted it in Kumasi because in Accra, there's a lot. So I got people that would tell me, Babna, you live in Accra. So if you go to Kumasi, that means every weekend you would have to be picking a flight going to Kumasi. So you have to do something that would work for you. So I just slashed that whole dream. I didn't slash the dream, but I put it on aside for some time, And then later I realized that when I came back home, like you said, people are doing so much. And so if you feed your mind on this social media movement, looking at what people are doing, people are selling, people are opening businesses today, tomorrow, and then you're like, God, what the hell am I doing with my life? And so when I came back, people would see me and be like, oh, Abna, it's like you're becoming slow. Oh, Abna, it's like you're not going out like the way I used to see. Abna, before when I used to know you, you were going out. What's going on? And I'm like, bro, first of all, I'm 28. Second of all, I'm not about to play. Like the time is ticking. And if I don't put my things together, it will go past me, and even opportunities will pass me, and I won't be able to run it. And then also, I'm taking this space of me being at home, not my uncle calls it isolating, but then I take it in a sense of preparation. You understand? Like, I'm being prepared towards something. First of all, I have something like, it's not like anger issues, okay? So I like things to be done in a certain way. Like, if you're doing something, I expect you to do it properly. Why are you doing it halfway when you know you can do it properly? That's my thing. And so when you tell people that, I don't know why you're saying now, and it says like, every day you're always getting angry. I'm like, yeah, but if you did it this way, I wouldn't have been angry, you understand? And so it's not like I'm working on that as well, because it's like people feel like, oh, you're too strong, your personality is too strong. It's like you say things the way you want to say them, and you're just coming off as, but then that's not the case.
For a long time, have had like an independent mindset. Like, I can just do it on my own because I do it best on my own. I could do it quicker on my own. I had to just mature quickly because my parents moved to Ghana when I was young, so I was in the States by myself. So for a long time, I was just like on my own and figuring it out on my own. And I think what I've come to realize just even recently is that we're not meant to live life like that. Like, we really are meant to live life in community. Mm-hmm. So like for me, this season is about harvesting network and friendship capital. And I think sometimes when we think capital, we're always thinking like money, finance. Mm-hmm. But what I recognize is that like there are literally people in your life, even your friends, that they all have something to offer in their own capacity that can help, or even an introduction that can help. And so I'm used to, when we build our first business, it's doing well now, but for a long time we were building it underground. Like, can't tell, in Ghana, you say you can't tell anybody anything. Build in secret, And I think that mindset has prevented a lot of people from moving quicker than they had to in trying to build in secret, because you can't, if you light a candle, you can't leave it under your bed and wait for it to, to shine, then bring it out. And so there's a certain level of vulnerability to building out loud because there's also a fear of failing, right? So you don't want anyone to know what you're building until it's successful, and then you want to tell people. But you probably could have gotten to that place even quicker if you built out loud. And you can still be private in your core of what you're building while still telling people, what you're building. And it surprised me because, I'm so used to like leveraging capital or other types of networking. But I have a lot of guy friends who are in finance. And I never really regarded them or, we're just friends. But the moment I wanted to pivot into like economics and finance, all of a sudden I was talking to my guy friends. And it just opened a whole new world of them advising me, helping me do this, helping me bring together this, networking, connecting me to this person, this website. And it's amazing how much quicker I've been able to build a foundation just by talking to my friends. So not going on LinkedIn and looking, just leveraging off of the people on the ground. And, I have friends who are creatives and just being like, okay, what do you think about like this new logo or this or that? And I think it's made building even more fun because people also want to be a part of the success, right? And, it's one thing to let people in afterwards. So people also love the idea of building with you. And I've enjoyed that because it's made things softer for me. It's made things more exciting for me. And it's made me see why God has placed certain people in my life that maybe I couldn't connect to. I just like, oh, this is just a friend. Just a friend. But later I'm like, oh, we weren't meant to date. You were meant to help me with something else, right?
It happens all the time.
And so I've enjoyed this season of just recognizing my friendships, their talents and their thoughts and building out loud. It's been therapeutic for me as well. Just knowing that the first time around it was just too much in secret and it's just so hard. But this time it's more fun and more exciting.
Building in softness for me has been truly letting go of what I know to learning the things that I don't know. So I grew up in New York. I moved to Ghana. This year being my third year, moving to Ghana. Don't really have friends. I could care less about friends, all these things. It's not that it's been bad, but the purpose of coming to Ghana was rest and to build. So what does building in softness looks like for me? Throwing everything away, throwing everything that I know, and fully trusting in God. Because I can tell you that since I made the decision of moving to Ghana till today, the Lord has orchestrated people in my way through other people that I don't know to be of a blessing for me and my business. Me personally, again, for the past 3 years, I haven't really thought of me as in Winnie, what do you want? What do you like? It hasn't been me. It has been Winnie and the business, or more of Ekasa as the business and how I can be of service to the business. So building in what's the word again? In softness. See, it's really hard for me to say softness. Like, it hasn't been softness or crab, but by the grace of God, it has been soft. Building in softness for me has truly been relying on God and people. And God being God, He convicted me and said, you following someone's footsteps, that's not the footsteps I have for you. And you've made an error. So what are we going to do right now? So I sat down in my room, in my mom's room. I've squandered all my money. I'd saved a lot of money, a lot of dollars. I gave half to the Lord and spent half on planes. Just traveling. Yeah. No one asked me, I just did it. Wow. And then, in my broke state, sat in the room in my mom's house. I had a conversation with God, and the question that I asked Him, the song, Then I Asked the Lord, what name fits? Yeah. So I kept asking Him, what name fits me? What's my purpose? Like, Ekasa was not Ekasa then. Ekasa was coat of many colors. It started off as a coat line, everything. And I would constantly play that song, Ask God, Ask God, Ask God. I wasn't really hearing responses until one friend connected me to her friend over a walk. a Brie walk, and from that walk, I have my community of friends. I have a community that has pushed Ekasa so far. I have a community that has taken over the business and me as their headache. I will go into rooms like this. I will be in a corner somewhere or like eating. I like food. And they will be doing the marketing for me. They would bring business. They would tell their friend to tell their friend. They have been, they've been God sent. Not even just for the business, but for me as a person. I wouldn't want to go on break. I don't want to go on break. They will buy me a ticket and say, we're going to Dubai. Go on break. You need that break. So coming to Ghana, building this business has really been me surrendering everything that I know, my behaviors, my thought pattern, the things that I used to do. I had to surrender it. I had to leave it behind. You're saying anger. I think when you live outside, you have that. It's not really anger, but it's a drive, but also because the system works. When you come to a space where then you look like the angry person, but you're not angry. You're just used to a system that actually works. So when you come back and it don't work, then you're crazy, you're angry. Mommy Way, she just does not belong here. That's basically what it seems, but you're not that. It's just where we find ourselves and the transitions. So I had to learn to I guess anger management as well and be patient. I'm not a patient person. I'm not a patient person. I grew up in New York. New Yorkers are not patient people.
You're like my mom. Yeah. But I think because my mom's not a patient person, it forced me to be patient.
A patient person. Yeah. I'm not patient. I will cut somebody off right now. I'm very short, I'm very tiny, but I don't care. I will cut you off. I will tell you my mind and just like walk away and be like, are you okay? Forgetting that I actually just caused harm. Not with my hands, but with my mouth. So I had to relearn that, working with men, working with women, working with people here, you have to put ego aside. You have to put, I had to put the Winnie I know, put it on the plane where I left it and come and build a new Winnie. Because if I'm going to have kids, my kids are going to grow up in Ghana. And I don't want people who are going to associate with my kids as thinking that their kid's mom is like very problematic and finds issues with everything and all that. And I also have to think about my partner and like his family and even myself, my family. Initially, I wasn't thinking about these things. Again, I lived on my own for like 5 years, finished school, worked my jobs, went on, got a good job before even moving to Ghana, coming back. I lived on my own. I matured in the way that I could. Not matured, I survived in the way that I could survive. So now that I'm back, this is a new maturing. And the new maturing is truly shutting up and letting God lead. If you let me lead, oh no. No, we will see me on the news. That's I know for sure. If you let me lead, it's not good. And the Lord knows that when He allows us mere human beings to do things on our own, it's bound for chaos. That's why we have to surrender. That's why we have to trust that the God that we say we serve actually got us. Because I did not plan on moving to Ghana. Trust and believe. Ghana, it's the last place for me. I came here when I had nothing and allowed God humble me. I worked somewhere in someone's house. I was like in a room sorting out thread. Me with my whole American degree, me with my own, I used to call myself Queen of Brunch because a girl was never cooking. I was always eating out something. And I am back in Ghana, very humbled, in a very tiny room, sorting out threads, dealing with men who have a lot of ego, who don't care nothing. Like, I was lowered to, I guess, the lowest that I thought I could ever get to. And the Lord, through that pruning season, the Lord lifted me. He hasn't even lifted me up, but he's lifted me up. He's showing me that if I do trust in him and remain soft in God, whatever I want, I will get. I will get without raising my voice. I will get without throwing a tantrum. I will get without doing the absolute most. And an evidence for that for me is, for example, I can go a week without sales, but I can make 1 month sale in a day with one client.
Yeah.
And that sale will cover all my 8 employees, will cover rent, will cover water, light, everything that I need. It will. Yeah. And that's I've learned all of that through trust in God. When you panic, when you cry, when you do all these things, you're not going to get anything.
We always think that, we're always trying to figure things out. Where's tomorrow's, plan or meal or purpose going to come from? Or, like just trying to figure out, okay, again, our calculations. Okay, if I do this and do this, it will lead to this. But God is like, and I always tell people that God has a sense of humor. Sometimes, like a big sense of humor. Sometimes you're just doing calculations, thinking that, this is definitely going to come from here. Like, sometimes your biggest blessing, you do your calculations, you trust that, this is where it's going to come from. You're just there and you're like, God is like, girl, how about exactly, literally. Saying I have better plans for you. That's the key word. So I'm just glad that at least, and also just when Lexi was talking about the fact that sometimes building in silence, as most people like to do, is not always the best thing, because for me, I've realized that most of the times, in terms of like opportunities, plans or things that people are doing, is because like you literally opened your mouth to say that, I need this, because then even the Lord says that if you don't ask, who is going to know?
I think conversations like this, I think I love stuff like this. I think oftentimes when we are doing these things, it's too big. Yeah. But I think this is actually even more impactful because you're engaging in conversation. Yeah. Big ones, wow. And then you're either talking to people or people are talking to you, but it's not really conversations. So I actually think this is also really great for people to know that, like, we all go through the same growing pains. Just like I was saying that I need a social media person. And you guys are like, I got you. And that is actually literally on my list of like, I need to find someone.
To be very fair, sometimes we have friends, but we don't have friends that challenge us. They don't challenge us. And so that you be the only person in the group that's always like thinking, it's like, bro, aren't you going to do something with your life? Don't you want to start selling something? Like, why are you just there? And then you see these people always complaining about not having money. I'm like, yeah, but you can just buy. I'm like, bro, you can just buy earrings and sell. The opportunity is around you. What are you doing? And so when I meet people in Uber, the drivers, I meet some Uber drivers, or I like to talk. I like engaging. I'm very vocal person. So I'll meet them and then they'll be complaining. I'm like, but driver, what would him say? Wait to me off a t-shirt. Cause now there are 2 taxing him. Then you just be selling to the customers and all that.
Eunice, this has been amazing. I'm not really much of a girls, let's go out. Girl, no. Listen to the Lord and have honored yourself to put this together, because it's going to, it's not just a one-time thing. I pray that it's ongoing for a while and that relationships are built, movements are made, and just an overall growth of us as women, as business owners, and as a society, it merges. So I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. Lexi, thank you so much. Abena, thank you.